Recording in progress.
Shabbat Shalom. Today I want to deal with lost sheep separated from the Father's house. Abiyah, thank you for the Shabbat. Thank you for this opportunity to minister. Allow there to be edification this day and let your will be done. I want to deal with basically some housekeeping. This is some information that should be known, but let's go over it again. Let your will be done, Father, on earth as it is in the Shamayim, Yada Yahuwah. So, I'm going to give some examples real quick before I get started. If you happen to be on a plane and that plane decides, well, there's some issue with the plane and it starts to go down. Man, you could be the most willing person to help others. But it's best for you first to address you. Put your oxygen mask on before you try to put masks on somebody else, so that you can be clear of thought and clear in mind, so you can move forth doing the will of Yah. I want you to put on the word right now. That's what I want you to focus on, the word right now. And so I'm also, going to give another example real quick. A lot of times when it comes to green grass, you can be looking at the neighbor's grass and be like, man, it's greener. But you need to tend to your own lawn before you focus on the neighbor's lawn. Even if it ain't green or whatever, it's, oh man, you could use some fertilizer. Tend to your own lawn. A lot of times when we're dealing with Israel, we want to keep focusing, because of Christianity, on everybody. Everybody can be saved. Saved from what? Salvation was for Israel first. Got to deal with the first things first. So, again, lost sheep separated from the Father's house. Let's get going. All right, I'm going to share my screen to get started. And I'm going to go to a common verse for most. Shemot, or Exodus 19. I'm going to start here where it says, verse 4. It says, you have seen what I did to the Mizrahites, or to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Who was he speaking to? Is he speaking to everybody? No, he's specifically speaking to Israel, the whole 12 tribes. He's not speaking to anyone else. And it says, and now, if you diligently obey, who is he talking to? He's talking to Israel. If you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all people, all the peoples. If he's talking to all the peoples, above all the peoples. No, he's talking to Israel. We keep focusing on everybody else. We need to clean up our own yard first before we start going to other people's yards. We need to deal with what's going on under our roof first before we deal what's under someone else's roof. I have no problem acknowledging that the stranger and the sojourner that obey Yah can be covered and enter the kingdom. The problem comes in is that we are not focused on dealing with us. We're so focused on dealing with others that we may miss the opportunity ourselves. Come on, put on your oxygen mask first, then focus on others. All right. And now, if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a reign of priests Priests usually are over people. We're going to be a reign of priests. Yahuwah is the king. A reign of priests. And of course, there's always in a reign of priests a high priest. And you shall be a reign of priests and a set apart nation. Those are the words which you are to speak to who? The children of Yasharal or Israel. Let's keep going. What's going on with us? What's going on? If you obey, 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 we hard head, stiff neck. So it's obvious that if you obey, it kind of denotes that there's a possibility we're not going to obey. But if you obey, so let's go. Devarim, Deuteronomy 4, start at what says verse 23. It says, guard yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahuwah. Is this to everybody? This is to Israel. Let's keep going. Guard yourself, lest you forget the covenant of Yahuwah, your Elohim, which he made with you, and shall make yourselves a carved image in any form, as Yahuwah, your Elohim, has commanded you. Walking around with these cross, we did it. Carved image. Even the cube that we did it. Carved image. Even with the so-called Jesus piece, carved image. For Yahuwah, your Elohim, is a consuming fire, a jealous El. When you bring forth children and grandchildren, and shall grow old in the land, and shall do corruptly, and make carved images in the form of whatever, and shall do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuwah your Elohim to provoke him, I shall call the heavens and the earth to witness against you on that day, that you shall soon completely perish from the land which you pass over the Yarden to possess. You do not but prolong your days in it, but are completely destroyed. We're dispersed. What people are dispersed from their home? You got people now in the land, or that was proclaimed to be the land of Israel, but everything has not come to a culmination or a ending. So how can that be? Because it says clearly here, you do not prolong your days in it, but are completely destroyed. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among the peoples. The same people that we're supposed to reign over, we dispersed among them. And you shall be left few in number among the nations. They call us minority, minors, almost everywhere we go. You shall be few in number among the nations where Yahuwah drives you. And there you shall serve mighty ones. That cross, that box, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor smell, nor eat or smell. All right, let's keep moving. Disobeying. How did we end up being lost? It was a choice. But let's go over here to Wa'ikra, or Leviticus 26. Again, do not make idols for yourselves, and do not set up a carved image or a pillar for yourselves, and do not place a stone image in your land to bow down to it, for I am Yahuwah your Elohim. guard my Sabbaths, my Shabbats, and reverence my set apart place. I am Yahuwah. Today is the Sabbath. Some people out, I get it. I was one that used to work on the Shabbat. Some people willingly accept and choose. They're not demanded or mandated to. They choose to work on the Shabbat. That's not guarding. That's not shamaring the Shabbats. If you walk in my laws, walk in my Torah, and guard my commands, and shall do them, then I shall give you rain in its season, and the land shall yield its crops, and the trees of the field yield their fruit. My wife's garden has been struggling. There's not been much rain, and definitely a lot of weeds, and even gophers been eating up a lot of the stuff. And your threshing shall last till the time of great harvest, and the great harvest shall last to the time of sowing, and you shall eat your bread until you have enough, and shall dwell in your land safely. And I shall give peace in the land. We're not in the land, so what happened? It had to be disobedience, but let's keep going. And you shall lie down, and no one make you afraid. And I shall clear the land of evil beasts, and not let the sword go through your land. And you shall pursue your enemies, and they shall fall by the sword before you. And 5 of you shall pursue 100, and 100 of you pursue 10,000, and your enemies shall fall by the sword before you. And I shall turn to you and make you fruitful, and shall increase you. Be fruitful and multiply, have dominion of the earth, and shall establish my covenant with you. He wanted us to be royal priests, reigning, having dominion. But if we're disobedient, we're going to be reigned over by others. These same people we supposed to be over will be over us. And you shall eat the old supply and clear out the old because of the new. And I shall set my dwelling place in your midst. That's what's going to happen when the throne comes down. He's going to set his dwelling place in our midst. But we are a hot mess at the moment, so we got to get there. But this is a part of his covenant. And let's keep reading. And my being shall not reject you, and I shall walk in your midst, and shall be your Elohim, and you shall be my people. He gonna set his representative amongst us, his high priest, not a man high priest or one born of a man or just a man alone, but a high priest from above is going to come down. Someone that is his proxy, his representative, is going to come and be amongst us. Many want to say, will be our king. No, he will be our high priest because Yahuwah is our king. He'll send his prince, his son. But let's keep going. I'm Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim, the land of Egypt, from being their slaves. And I have broken the bars of your yoke and made you walk upright. But if you do not obey me, they obey me, and do not do all these commands, and if you reject my laws, my Torahs, or if your being loathes my right rulings, you don't agree with my decisions, so that you do not do all my commands, but break my covenant, I also do this to you. I shall appoint sudden alarm over you, wasting disease and inflammation, destroying the eyes and consuming the life. And you shall sow your seed in vain, for the enemy shall eat it up. Like I said, the gopher out there, that enemy eating up our stuff. And we try to walk into her, but still, this is, everything that's spoken towards Israel is spoken towards Israel, not individuals. Most of us be focused on, well, I'm doing this and what is Israel as a nation doing? We are one son. I'm going to show that, but we are one son. It's not, I'm some son. Yes, but the whole body, the whole Israel is one son. Let me go and keep going. And I shall set my face against you, and you shall be smitten before your enemies, and those who hate you shall rule over you. Come on. We are in this land. Now, I don't have no issue with all palm skins, but come on. The palm skins, mostly when they rule over us, they be harsh. Even the brown skin folks that's ruling over us, that's not us. Even when we get in position. Come on, we ain't right either. And you shall flee when no one pursues. And after all this, if you do not obey me, then I shall punish you 7 times more for your sins. I shall break the pride of your power and shall make your heavens like iron and your earth like bronze. Mm-mm-mm. Bondage. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to keep moving. Because as you see, he wants us to obey. This message is about lost sheep separated from the Father. What separated us? What separated us? Our lack of obedience. Our disobedience is what separated us, dispersed us. Well, he did it to us. We did it to ourselves. I firmly believe if we were obedient as a people, nothing could touch us. Nothing. Nothing could pluck us from his hand. But the thing is, we chose to leave his hand. And we wonder why the protection of that hand is not with us. And say, well, I'm good. We not good. The whole is not good. Let me get back. Let me get back, sharing my screen. All right. So that was just Wa'ikra 26. So we going over here to Tehillim, Psalms 106. I'm doing some reading today. Man, whew. Yada Yahuwah. It says, praise Yah. Oh, give thanks to Yahuwah. Oh, hallelujah. Yada Yahuwah. Whoo, for he is good. For his loving commitment is everlasting. Whoo, yada Yahuwah. Ooh, glory to your name. Who does relate the mighty acts of Yahuwah or declare all his praise? Favored are those who guard right ruling, who do righteousness at all times. Man, come on, I be at it trying to do that, but I misstep. So come on, I know I'm fallible, but we got to do better. We got to do better. I got to do better. I'm gonna speak for me. I do believe we do, but I know I need to do better. Remember me, O Yahuwah, in the acceptance of your people. Visit me with your deliverance, to see the good of your chosen ones, to rejoice in the gladness of your nation, your people, to make my boast with your inheritance. We have sinned with our fathers. We have acted perversely. We have done wrong. Collectively, nation, the high priest on the whole, is real. Our fathers in Mizraim did not understand. They didn't comprehend your wonders. They did not remember your many loving commitments, but rebelled by the sea of reeds. And he said the Red Sea, but the sea of reeds. But he saved them for his name's sake, to make known his might. And he rebuked the sea of reeds, and it dried up. It parted. And he led them through the depths, through a wilderness. And he saved them. Did he save all the other? He saved Israel, saved them from the hand of the hater. His intent is to save Israel. Others can benefit from it, yes, but the exception is not the rule. Let's keep going. And redeem them from the hand of the enemy. And waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them was left. Then they believed his words. They sang his praise. They soon forgot his works. They did not wait for his counsel, but greedily lusted in the wilderness and tried El. They tried Yahuwah in the desert. And he gave them their requests, but sent leanness within their being. And they were jealous of Moshe in the camp of Aharon, the set apart one of Yahuwah. Yahuwah has always sent forth a representative or a proxy, and Moshe was that. He was a Masha. He was anointed. He was a deliverer. But let's keep going. Then the earth opened up and swallowed Dathan and covered the company of Abiram. And a fire burned in their company. A flame consumed the Rome. They made a calf in Horeb and bowed down to a molded image. There go that idolatry. Modern idolatry is a little bit different, but we are setting up so many different things before Yah. But let's keep going. Thus they changed my esteem into the form of an ox that eats grass. They forgot El. They forgot Yahuwah, their Savior. Many are, look, Yahusha is the representative, just like Moses. But it would have been error to lift up Moses to the place of Yahuwah, just like I think it's error to lift up Yahusha to the place of Yahuwah. We honor these high priests, we honor them, but they are not who all the praise belongs to. It belongs to the Father. But let's keep going. They forgot El, their Savior, the doer of great deeds in Mizraim, of wonders in the land of Ham, of awesome deeds by the Sea of Reeds. Then he said that he would destroy them. Had not Moshe chosen one, Moses his chosen, his anointed, his Masha, his proxy, his representative, his chosen. Had not Moshe his chosen one stood before him in the breach as an intercessor. Come on, that's to turn away his wrath from destroying them. Then despised the pleasant land. They did not believe his word. Their intercessor was right there, and they didn't want to hear him. And they grumbled in their tents. They did not listen to the voice of Yahuwah. Moses was the one speaking to him. They ain't listened to the voice of Yahuwah coming through his messenger. Because remember, Yahuwah, if you remember the story, the narrative, the story, Yahuwah was speaking to him. They said, don't speak to us, speak to him and speak to us through him. Okay. So he lifted up his hand in an oath against them to make them fall in the wilderness. Yahuwah let them fall in the wilderness. All of a whole generation and only a few on what Caleb, Yahushua, but it was their children that survived. But the elders of that day, bye bye, and to make their seed fall among the nations and to scatter them in the lands. Look at that, scattered in the lands, and they joined themselves to Baal Peor and ate slaughterings and made they ate slaughterings made to the dead. Thus they provoked him with their deeds, and the plague broke out among them. Man, I could keep going in this, keep going, but I just want to show disperse them, separated. This disobedience that we keep having, the stiff neckedness, it's a separated. It's not talking to everybody, it's talking to us. Let's keep going. Ezekiel 12. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, you are dwelling in the midst of a rebellious house. Son of man, he talking to Ezekiel. He's the representative of that day, Ezekiel. The anointed one of that day, Ezekiel, the son of man, the Masha. Anyway, They have eyes to see, but they have not seen. They have ears to hear, but they have not heard. For they are a rebellious house. Israel is a house. At this time, we're a rebellious house. Therefore, son of man, prepare your baggage for exile and go into exile by day before their eyes. And you shall go from your place into exile to another place before their eyes. It could be that they see, though they are a rebellious house. And you shall bring out your baggage for exile before their eyes by day, and at evening go before their eyes, like those who go into exile. Separated, that's exile. Come on. Dig through the wall before their eyes, and you shall bring them out through it. The Son of Man, the Son of Man is going to bring us through our exile. He's going to reconnect us from being separated. The anointed, the high priest. But let me keep going. Take them on your shoulders and bring them out at dark before their eyes. Cover your face so that you do not see the land, for I have made you a sign to the house of Israel. A sign, a symbol, a similitude. I'll go with a similitude. There you go. And so I did as I was commanded. I brought out my baggage for exile by day, and at evening I dug through the wall with my hand. I brought them out at dark, and I took them on my shoulder before their eyes. And in the morning, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, did not the house of Israel, the rebellious house, say to you, what are you doing? Say to them, thus said the master, Yahuwah. This message is to the prince in Jerusalem. The prince, sons of a king are prince in Jerusalem, and all the house of Israel who are in their midst. Say, I am a sign to you, as I have done, so it is to be done to them. They are to go into exile, into captivity. And the prince who is in their midst is to bear his baggage on his shoulder at dark and go out. They are to dig through the wall to bring them out through it. He is to cover his face so that he does not see the land with his eyes. Whew. That anointed. And I shall spread my net over him, and he shall be caught in my snare, and I shall bring him to Babel. See, this is speaking about a specific time right here, but it's still, I just want to point to the exile situation. But let's keep going. The land of the Casdim, but he shall not see it, and yet die there. And I shall scatter to every wind all who are around him to help him, and all his bands, and I shall draw out the sword after them. And they shall know that I am Yahuwah when I scatter them among the nations. I shall disperse them throughout the lands. But I shall let a few of them, I don't even need to read that. Again, scatter, disperse. Let's keep going. I'm going to shift directions a little bit here. I'm going to shift directions. Oh, look at me messing up on that, but I'm going to shift directions. I'm still dealing with the same thing, same message. So I'm dealing with that whole idea of us being separated. You know, the lost sheep separated from the Father's house. We separated from the Father's house. So I'm gonna point at the specific high priest we deal with now. They dealt with him on the earth at a time, but we deal with him spiritually. But let's go. Matthew Yahoo 15, starting here at verse 21. And it says, and Yahusha. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure to share my screen. Come on. Let me share my screen. I'm forgetting that I took that off. All right. Matthew Yahoo 15, Matthew 15, what's called verse 21. It says, and Yahusha went out from there and withdrew to the parts of Zor, and see, a woman of Canaan came from those borders and cried out to him, saying, have compassion on me, O master, son of David. My daughter is badly demon possessed. So notice, he is a Yahudim. This Canaan, woman of Canaan, comes to him crying. But he did not answer her a word. He straight up ignored her. And his taught ones came and asked him, saying, send her away because she cries after us. They asked, should we send her away because she cries after? And he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep to the house of Israel. So hold on. He didn't say a word to her. So who is he responding to? Is he responding to her or them? But he answered not a word. And his taught ones came and asked him, saying, send her away because she cries after us. And he answering, he didn't say a word to her. He answering them, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. How could that not be so plain? That's so plain. He answered straight up. But you people will argue all day. He for everybody. His own words said what he's for. Those lost sheep separated from the Father's house are his focus. Not this woman. But again, the woman has a need. She's tugging on him with her need. He ain't paying no mind to her. But look what catches his attention. Again, an exception is not the rule. So let's go. I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Come on, all he does is tell the truth. So this is the truth. That's all he was sent for. That is his assignment. He was sent. It said, I was not sent except. So he was sent for the lost sheep of Israel. He was sent. He didn't come on his own volition. He came as a servant to his master, Yahuwah. But she came and was bowing to him, saying, Master, help me. See, he high priest, he's a master. Royal priesthood, reigning. He's the high priest. She acknowledged him, Master, help me. She's submitting, coming humble, acknowledging that he's greater. This Israelite prince is greater. This Israelite high priest is greater. Master, help me. And he answering said, it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. She asking for help. And he goes to talking about children's bread and throw it to the dogs. He basically denying her access to help. Calling her a little dog. Calling her daughter a little dog. It is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. But she said, yes, master, for even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. She didn't argue with him. She didn't try to throw rank or say, I'm greater than a dog. Don't insult me. She like, even the little dogs get crumbs from the master's table. Her humility came out of her. Her faith came out of her. she had an issue that needed a resolution, and she knew who could bring forth the resolution, regardless to what he was purposed to come for. His assignment was only to come for the lost sheep. She knew him as a master, and she kept pressing on him. And Yahusha answering said to her, "O woman, your belief is great. I get my assignment. Yes, my assignment is for the lost sheep. But since your belief is so great, let it be as you desire." And her daughter was healed from that hour. He made an exception to the rule. Doesn't change the rule, but he made an exception because of her faith. Sometimes you're going to help out your neighbor. My grass, like I said, talk about earlier about the fertilizing my grass, but my neighbor said, "Oh man, I got this problem. Can you help me?" And I may consider it to help him. But my responsibility first still is my own yard. I should not neglect mine to tend to his. Yahusha didn't neglect his to tend to her. He was over. He had the greater ability to help all of it, but her faith gave her access. But that right there, I had to point that out. Her humility, her obedience. We need to be humble and obey as well. But let's keep going. Here go what I wanted to point out and what I mentioned earlier. Shemot, Exodus 4, verse 22. And you shall say to Pharaoh, "Thus said Yahuwah, Israel is my son." We always focus on our individuality. Christianity really taught us to do that. Your own salvation. But Yahuwah is focused on the nation of Israel's salvation and not on our own individual salvation. Israel is my son, the whole nation, all of the royal priesthood are one son. Israel is my son, my firstborn. Again, Israel is my son, my firstborn. People say, "Well, Yahushua the son." The head and the body are the same. They're one son. He may be the brain or the head, the director, the control box. But what good is a door? What good is a door that stands alone? If a door is not connected to something, what is it doing? If a door is just standing there by itself, it's not doing its job. The door by itself is not giving access or denying. You can just walk around it. A door by itself is not sufficient. A door must be connected to something. And so many people want the door, but they don't want what it's connected to. So many people want the head, but they don't want the body. Yahuwah does not operate in perversion. He operates in wholeness. You can't have the head without having the body. You can't have the door without having the structure that it's connected to. How are you going to have Yahusha and not have the Yahudim? How are you going to have the Yahudim and not have Israel? But that's how so many people want to say, because those people in the land want to claim themselves to be the Yahudim. What about the lost sheep? Them people ain't even biologically connected at all. They done misguided us and had you think that, oh, birthline is through the mother and all these different things. They have taught you so many things that's contradictory towards the book, and yet nobody's questioned them. Well, they said, "Well, I question them." An individual. What nation we're the nation, the whole Israel questioning and challenging. You awaken for what? Seem like a lot of y'all still groggy. Y'all ain't came to clearness of thought. Y'all still groggy. Y'all still in the process of awakening because some stuff just keep going over your head. You ain't gathering it. You can't really see it. Can't even hear it. So you can't expect you to say it because you don't have no intimacy with it. But let me keep going. Let me get back. Let me get back. Let me get back. Let me get back. Okay. I want to go into the covenant, and I'm gonna hit it from Jeremiah. Say just briefly, but I want to flesh it out a little bit. Yirmiyahu or Jeremiah 31 says, "See, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I shall make a renewed covenant with the house of who? Israel, and with the house of Yahudah." Is this with all other nations? The covenant is for Israel and Yahudah. So who gonna be saved? Everybody? Israel and Yahudah. Not like the covenant I made with their fathers in the day that when I strengthened their hand to bring them out of the land of Mizraim, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, declares Yahuwah. For this is the covenant I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, declares Yahuwah. I shall put my Torah in their inward parts. How can the law be done away if the Torah is in your inward parts? If you operating in life, but you saying the Torah is done away, if it's in your inward parts, then you're done away. That don't make sense. I shall put my Torah, my laws, in their inward parts and write it on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And no longer shall they teach each one his neighbor. Again, I've taught this many times. The neighbor was dealing with Israel. But we see teaching. Right now, I'm teaching. And each one his brother saying, "Know Yahuwah, for they shall all know me." I'm teaching know Yahuwah, teaching you to know him. Everybody don't know him. And they shall know me from the least of them to the greatest of them, declares Yahuwah. For I shall forgive their crookedness and remember their sin no more. Has that happened? No. But people say, "Oh, we're in the new covenant." Let me move. See, the time of Yirmiyahu, they say, well, okay, well, of course, in the time of Yahushua it must have came, but let's go. Let's go over to Hebrews or Ibrahim. And I'm going to start off at 7:28. That's where I'm going to start off. I really want to read all 7, but I've been on this thing for a minute, so I'm not going to do that. I want to honor the time. But I'm going to start here in verse 7. And this is after the time of Yahusha. So, of course, they say the new covenant happened after Yahusha. Let's go. For the Torah, the law, appoints as high priest men who have weakness. But the word of the oath, which came after the Torah, appoints the Son. What appoints high priest? Appoints high priest. Keep hearing that. Appoints high priest. Appoints the Son. Appoints high priest. The Son is the appointed high priest. Appoints the Son high priest, having been perfected forever. Now let's keep going. Ibrahim, Hebrews 8. Now the summary of what we are saying is we have such a high priest. Yahusha the Son. Israel is supposed to be royal priesthood. Israel is the son. The head of the priest, the royal priesthood, is the high priest. Yahusha is the head over the body of Israel, or the high priest is the head over the royal priesthood. It does that not correlate? Never mind. I ain't trying to force that on you. If you don't correlate it, let's keep going. Now, the summary of what we are saying is we have such a high priest who is seated at the right hand. He's not seated in the throne, he's seated at the right hand. He's not sharing the same seat. The high priest and Yahuwah are two different beings. Yahuwah is there, and who is seated in the right hand of the throne of greatness in the heavens. So the high priest or the son or the prince is at the right hand of the greatness in the heavens, and who serves in the set apart place of the true tent, which Yahuwah set up, not man. For every high priest is appointed to offer both gifts and slaughters. So it was also necessary for this one to have somewhat to offer. For if indeed he were on earth, he would not be a priest, since there are priests who offer the gifts according to the Torah, who serve a copy and a shadow of the heavenly. As Moshe was warned when he was about to make the tent, for he said, "See that you make all according to the pattern shown you on the mountain." A copy in the image of. Will being done on earth as it is in the Shamayim, reflective of what's going on in the Shamayim, in the image of, let me keep going. See that you make all according to the pattern shown you on the mountain. But now he has obtained a more excellent service, inasmuch as he is also mediator, intercessor. What was Moses doing back? Intercessor. Anyway, of a better covenant, which was constituted on better promises. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. Would not need to be renewed. It's not a second, it's the same one, it's just renewed. And it's structured differently. Let's keep going, because we just read in Jeremiah. It's talking about it's going to be written in your heart. It's the same. Watch this same words. Keep on. For finding fault with them, he says, "See, the days are coming," says Yahuwah, "when I shall conclude with the house of who? Israel, and with the house of Yahudah, a renewed covenant." Same verbiage, basically, as Jeremiah or Jeremiah. "Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they did not continue, they didn't obey my covenant, and I disregarded them, says Yahuwah." This is being said in Hebrews. This is after the death of Yahusha, so it's coming. It was still coming then. So many say with his death, burial, and resurrection that it happened right then, that they were in the. That ain't what it's saying, because this is after. Anyway, let's keep going. "Because this is the covenant that I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahuwah, giving my laws, my Torah, in their mind." And, see, the heart don't really have the real heart. It's the mind. "And I shall write them on their hearts." Is it on the boom, boom, boom heart? It's on the things that you love, your mind, your concept, your comprehension. "And I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people." It's dealing with the whole nation, always. The whole body. Not just the head, not just the arm, not. Yahusha didn't need to be dealt with. The whole body did. "And they shall by no means teach each one his neighbor." I'm teaching right now. You may not receive it as teaching, but that's what I'm doing. And each one is brother saying, know Yahuwah, because they shall know me from the least of them to the greatest of them. And I have so many people that are same stock, bloodline, that don't know him. So this is not talking about, it's not completed now. It may be in the motion, but it's not fulfilled completely now. We don't see it manifest. It's done in the spiritual, but we don't see it done right now. Because I shall forgive their unrighteousness and their sins. We still see unrighteousness and sin and their lawlessness, and I shall no longer remember. We ain't done disobeying. We ain't done being stiff-necked as a people. We still doing all that. By saying renewed, he has made the first old. Now, what becomes old and growing age is near disappearing. But look, separated due to disobedience. Israel is separated, lost, dispersed due to disobedience. His focus over and over is to save or bring them back into the fold. It ain't for every other nation. That ain't what the focus is. Do other nations benefit? Yes. But exceptions are not the rule. I don't know why, anybody has to keep explaining this. Oh, salvation is for Christianity got y'all mixed up and twisted. Those folks were not considered the lost sheep. Israel is. Do they, again, a stranger that obeys? Yes. Again, these people that's teaching that you're not under the law, how you going to have something written in your heart or inside you, in your being, and it not influence you? Oh, I don't got to worry about that. Again, today is Shabbat. This world is catering to everything but the Shabbat. Almost all the events are set for today. Almost every event, be it sports, be it nuptials, the worldly marriage, come on, everything, parties, gatherings, let's do it on the Shabbat. They don't even, they consider the first day the Shabbat. But talk to them, talk to a Christian and try to have them do some of the stuff you want to do, or some of the stuff they even want you to do on the Shabbat. Try to have them. I had a friend one time, well, he disowned me as friend, but he wanted me to help him move. And I said, I can't do it on the Shabbat. I was like, I'm available all Sunday. Oh, man, I can't do nothing on Sunday. I can't. No, I'm like, well, you want me to be available on my holy day, but you can't be available, and it's for you on your, oh, that's your holy. I'm like, I can't help you then. And of course, he was offended, and there was issues with that. He wanted me to compromise my set apart day, but he wasn't willing to compromise the day he considered his set apart day. Whoa. Make it make sense. It don't. Lost sheep, separated from Father's house. That's the focal point. I only came for the lost sheep. That's out of Yahusha's own, of course it wasn't in English. It wasn't those same words, but the meaning was the same. I only came for these people. He didn't say it was a woman of another people asking him questions. He was ignoring her. And his disciples, you want us to send her away? And he responded to them. And then the woman was like, hey, I get it. You called me a dog. But even dogs get the crumbs. She like, I'll take whatever you got. whatever you got. We of Israel, we ain't got nothing, but we ain't got that mindset. We'll take whatever we got. We sitting up there in envy and mad and angry and stuff like that instead of focusing on what did we do to end up in this position? The rules. We didn't follow them. They were set up to us, and it's like, oh, you follow these. I'm like, I didn't even want to go into. I could have brought Deuteronomy 28 in it, but you go through the beginning of Deuteronomy and say, if you do this, favor, 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 favor. It's just so many different things. A lot of times, when we read Deuteronomy 28, we focus on the curses. But if we obey, we ain't even got to think about the curses. If we obey, we don't have to deal with the condemnation. We don't have to feel separated. We don't get dispersed. If we obey, we wouldn't be in the position that we in. A lot of people say, oh, slavery wasn't a choice. Disobedience was a choice. And the result of that was slavery. So, okay, slavery wasn't a choice, but disobedience was. The Father just said, just obey me. I'll give you everything. Let you have access to all that I have. Let you reign with me. Come on. That's what you're going to be my royal priesthood. And that you're going to basically run other nations with me if you obey. But we now are subject to other nations because what? We chose to disobey Yah. We made a willful choice. He said, I want my will to be done on earth as is in heaven. And the people that he chose said, I don't like your will. It's too restrictive. I don't like your will. It ain't allowing me the freedom that I want. And then when we get even more bound, and you say, well, he forsaken us. He did. Huh? We chose this. But, all right. Shabbat Shalom. Abba Yah, thank you for this Shabbat. Shankwa Yah. Yada Yahuwah. One Vision Ministry. Let your will be done.